at noon. Sorry, I'm posing for a picture for my husband. I didn't realize I was posing for a picture. I just did this and I saw him and I went, oh, because do you do talks and then you get pictures back and you're going, oh yeah. Yes, they're all, unfortunately, I am not a calm, slow speaker. I'm animated, so this is what happens, so that's all right. I want you to think very quickly about a stressor. Is anybody stressed right now? I mean, we're at a hypno conference, right? So you would think it would all be woozy, but people get stressed about, what am I going to attend? Oh, did I miss that? I need to find that person. So think about your stress level for a moment. And what I'm going to show you today are a few very quick change ideas that you can use with your clients. If you would just hear from Alyssa Tier's talk about memory reconsolidation, one of the things is to input a change. So I teach these things to my clients so they will have instant things they can use in the real world. I'm not a big believer in self-hypnosis where you have to take 15 or 20 minutes off by yourself and set aside a time to do this every day. I don't have time to do that. And in the beginning stages of my career, when I taught self-hypnosis in that way to my clients, while I think it's a great practice, when they came back and I said, how many days did you do your self-hypnosis? They said, oh, I forgot. Oh, I didn't have the time. And rather than blame my clients, I said, well, hell, what can I give them that's instant that they can do all the time? We're practicing self-hypnosis every moment of every day in our lives. Because everything we tell ourselves, good or bad, is self-hypnosis. Nobody's a better hypnotist of us than ourselves. So let's find ways to instantly, in the moment, change a limiting belief or something you don't like into something you do like. So I equip my clients with something they can do in the real world instantly. Back to that stress, okay? So think about your stress level right now. Rate it on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being outrageously stressed, 0 being completely calm. Just give it a number. Now, if your number is 0 to 5, you only need one hand for this technique. If your number is 5 to 10, you need both hands for the technique. Do you mind standing up? Okay. Whatever it is, whatever your level is, if you need one hand or two hands, put your hands up. Hand or hands up, okay? Now look at your hand or hands. Look at your palm and your fingers as you're thinking about that stress level. As you're thinking about it, just look at your hands and make a circle with your thumb and your first finger. Make a circle with your thumb and your first finger as you're looking at your hands, thinking about that stress, and we're going to release it now. I'd like you to, as you think about it, curl your little finger and your ring finger into your palm and release all the stress out of that other one. Just let that stress go now. Where's your stress level now? Is everybody down to 0? Okay, you can sit down. What did we install? What did we install? You know, Dan Candell asked me one day, he was in a class where I was teaching that, and he said, do you think I could do that in a corporate environment? And I said, you're Dan Candell, you can do it any place you want to. He's done it at corporate environments, he did it for an NGH conference. I mean, it's fun. Now, why does it work? Because you're thinking of what you don't want, and the laughter, right? The moment you connected with the laughter, it changed everything. In the real world, as you think of things like that, how many times do you want to flip somebody off? From this point on, anytime you think about flipping somebody off or actually flip them off, you can realize, I'm just releasing my stress. Woohoo! I feel so much better. It's a good, handy technique. Not everybody is as overt as I am. Not everybody wants to flip people off or even has occasionally flipped people off. So here's a kinder, gentler approach. You can do this one seated. You can do this one at a stoplight. Granted, if you pull up and the light turns red and you're stopped, put your car in park, and you could do this right there. This is how quick it is. So I'm going to ask you first, in just a moment, not just yet, I'm going to ask you to roll your eyeballs all the way up in your head, and when they get up there and you can feel them, with your eyeballs up, close your eyelids down. When your eyelids are down, take a breath and relax your eyes. And then in a moment, take another breath and relax your entire body. Okay? It's that simple. So first, look up with your eyeballs as hard as you can. When you feel the strain with your eyeballs up, close your eyelids down. Take a deep breath and relax your eyes. Now take another deep breath and relax the rest of your body. And as slowly as you can, open your eyes back up, much more relaxed. Wow. How does that feel to you? Is that cool? So when I have a client who talks to me about being stressed, I had one man who, around the conference table at work, whenever they had a director's meeting or whatever, he would get freaked out about the time that it was his turn to talk. I taught him this. Nobody can see him do it. Nobody knows what he's doing. And he can relax. These are things that you can do with your children. You know, they roll their eyes at you all the time. They're just relaxing themselves. You do the same thing back at them. Right? And it's an instant relaxer for you because you have placed yourself in charge of your own state. Right? Somebody might piss you off, but you're in charge of regaining your equilibrium. And you can do that with the drop of a hat. Or in a moment. That technique lasts less than a minute. And you can do it any place, all by yourself. So that's another game. I like to play games with my clients. And I don't wait till the end. I think it's wonderful. I've had trainers say that don't listen to their conscious mind because the conscious mind doesn't know what it's talking about. If you believe that, keep your belief. I believe we are all carrying around our own BS. Our own BS. Belief system. Keep your own belief system because it's working for you, right? So however you do it is right. All techniques work. The hypnosis happens in the space between the hypnotist and the client. Okay, it doesn't happen with magic. God, I wish it did. But I wouldn't be here with you if it did. Because if it worked like that, I'd have already hung out at a lottery office. And when someone cashed in their Powerball ticket, I'd have hypnotized them to give me their money. And I would be in a hut or something on Fiji right now. So I'm just saying, it doesn't work that way. It's not magic. It's that space that we create and the energy that's created. So allow that to create. So when I have somebody who's going through something, I don't wait till we get to a really long story. I don't wait till they finish their story. I tell my clients right up front, I am likely to interrupt you. I'm not being rude. I just have to put in a break state in this story, self-hypnosis, that you have been doing over and over and over again. You have been consolidating that into your memory, have you not? You have been doing something habitually. So as they're telling me the story, when I hear any kind of chink in the armor, where I can teach them a different way of dealing with it at that moment, I'm teaching them real-world self-hypnosis. Does that make sense? So when I hear them talk about when a limiting belief comes up, in a class I was doing yesterday, a woman said, I was just thinking. Wow, thinking is such a phenomenal thing. How can you diminish it with that word just? Right? But when a client says something like that, I'm going to hear a strategy that they've got rolling, and we might work on that strategy right then. Then, as we go on through the session, we're doing this again and again and again, and when at the end of the session, we've already started messing with the BS, the belief system, it can't go back to where it was, and then we solidify it at the end of the session with either a nice relaxing session or a regression or whatever it is that we augment that change work with. But the change has already occurred here. So I like to play this game. This is a very versatile, very handy game for a variety of things. Let's play it first and then I'll explain it. First thing I want you to do is look all around the room and find everything that you can find that's blue. Find all the blue that you can find, but just blue. As much of it as you can find, as quickly as you can find it. Perfect. Now just red. Look for all the red you can find. As much red as you can find. Gather all of it up. Now just yellow. Find the yellow. Now just green. Find the green. Okay, you can stop. I gave you some cheats, by the way. I wore something with all the colors in it. My book is sort of a green. Notice it's not green, but if you're looking for green, that would qualify. For some of you, it might qualify as blue. The point is, when you were looking for blue, where did you find the blue? Linda, where did you find the blue?
Right around strips.
Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Mary, where did you find the blue?
Shirts.
Yeah? Where did you find the red?
Kind of all over.
You found it in all. When you started looking for red, what happened to the blue?
I ignored it.
Oh, you ignored it. When you started looking for red, what happened to the blue?
Yeah, just saw red. Ignore it though.
So, that's an interesting way to look at hallucination, is it not? Negative hallucination. If you look back at the Harry Aaron's depth scale, negative hallucination, according to his scale, is one of the deepest forms of hypnosis. Did you guys realize you had gone that deep that quickly? You negatively hallucinated a color that was all around you that you had just found where it was. And you negatively hallucinated it. When you started looking for yellow, because the brain is a goal-oriented mechanism, you will always get what you go looking for. So make sure you go looking for what the fuck you want. Stop looking around for what you don't want, because I guarantee you, you're gonna find it. I teach this to my clients. We play this little game. I give you 4 colors just so that it's a game, right? We don't need any more than the 2, but because you get the point. Once you took my suggestion to look for the blue, you were playing the game and you were in hypnosis. You took the suggestion and you played the game. As soon as I said switch it to red, you took that suggestion, you switched it, you negatively hallucinated the blue and all the other colors that are in the room, and that red started popping out at you. Because the brain is a goal-oriented mechanism. So if I have a very negative client who's, oh, this and oh, that, I'll talk to them about you're getting what you're looking for. We play the game, and I show them how easy it is to switch. I've got a new thing going. Lots of people do this, okay? And, oh my God, hold on. Connie Jo Holmes. You know when you gotta say a name, how it just blanks out? Yeah. Connie does this at night, I believe, where she talks about the 5 things she's grateful for every day. I do it every morning, where I talk about the 3 things that I'm looking forward to today, or what's going right in my life. And I do this on Facebook with a little explanation. Just as somebody's scrolling past, they might pick up the information, right? Here are the 3 things that I'm loving right now, or I'm liking, or what's good. It's a way to train yourself to be more positive. It's a way to install the way to decide what you want and go looking for that. It's a way to catch yourself when you find yourself only getting what you don't want, to switch your thinking. And if you do that every day, it actually retrains the brain without you even knowing it. If you just put a list down, I don't care if it's 3, I don't care if it's 5, I don't care if you do it morning and night, I don't care if you do it in the middle of the afternoon, I don't care when you do it, just make a list, mentally or writing it. If you write it or type it, you're bringing in other parts of the brain, and you are really retraining your brain to pivot to something different. It worked for me. I've had moments in my life when I've been a very negative person. Sarcasm is a thing that I use for humor, right? That tends to be a little on the negative side. I didn't lose that. But now, in the throes of my life, I'm looking for stuff that I like, rather than the stuff that I don't like. And if my clients do that, as they do that, it helps. Sometimes they'll put their list on my Facebook post. Sometimes they'll make their own. Sometimes they just think it. I don't care. But typically, clients will tell me when I'll say, did you do your list? Oh yeah, I kept it on my phone. But they kept it. That's a different response to self-hypnosis than I got with the you've got to go set aside 20 minutes to meditate or whatever it is. And if they do that too, hey, great. That's a plus. This is not in place of. We are not in place of any other technique that works. We are an adjunct to those techniques. So if they already have a ritual of doing something that works for them, I don't take it away from them. I augment it. okay, with something else. Any questions so far? Those are just really quick things. Yes?
Where's that sheet?
The sheet that's going around with the handout stuff. Oh, there it is. Would you, yeah. Has everybody on this side had it? Yeah. Okay, all right, if you haven't. All of these things are on that sheet, okay? They're pretty easy to remember. You don't have to download the sheet, but there it is if you want it. Linda?
Isn't it great how he looked for it and he found it? Just saying.
It is so great, is it not? That's a tagline that you would learn from Magic Words and Language Patterns, but I'm not here to sell my book by any means. All right, so we've got another technique, one more, that is a skills building technique. There are lots of ways to get rid of limiting beliefs. If we get through this one really fast, I'll do a quickie at the end. If not, this one is a great skills building technique. Again, I'm going to ask you to stand. And I want you to think about an attribute that you would like to have. A skill, a quality, an attribute that you would like to have. Humor, speed, relaxation. Any attribute, quality that you'd like to have. Everybody have one? Okay. Now, put your hands out like this. And think of an animal that has that quality that you want. An animal that's got that quality. Close your eyes and put that animal in one of your hands. Watch that animal. Be really in touch with that animal. How do you know that animal has that quality? How's the animal breathing? The look on its face? The action it's taking? What lets you know that animal has that quality? There it is with all of its God-given natural abilities, doing what it naturally does. Now see yourself in the other hand. With all of your God-given qualities, all of your natural abilities, everything that you bring into the world. And in just a moment, we're going to meld the two together. We're going to do a metaphoric mind meld. In just a moment, I'm going to ask you to think of a word that will indicate success for you, bend your knees, meld those two together, mash your hands together so that you and the animal become one. And when you've done that, I'm going to ask you to jump up, release that into the universe with your word. So, okay, bend your knees. Mash the two together and jump up and release it to the universe with your word. Success, yay, whatever it is. Let's do that one more time. There's your animal. There you are. All of your natural God-given qualities coming together. Bend your knees, mash them together, and release it to the universe with your word. Woohoo! Woo! One more time. There's your animal. There you are. Mash them together and release it to the universe. Woohoo! All right, everybody sit down. What was the quality that you wanted?
Mine was an elephant.
But what was the quality?
Oh, the quality, togetherness.
Togetherness. Okay. If a client were to ask you to help her be more together, what might you suggest? What animal might you suggest to her?
Monkey.
Don't suggest. Because hers, I set you up. That was not your fault. Because hers was an elephant. So you don't say, don't even ask the quality. You don't need to know it. What quality do you have, and what animal do you put with that? And let them have any animal they want, okay? Because that has meaning to them. They're going to watch that animal, they're going to relate to that animal, they're going to bring those qualities into themselves and then release it to the universe. Does that make sense? So let them have whatever animal it is they want, even if you don't agree with it or like it. Let them have it because it's going to work for them. They're seeing those qualities in them. Linda?
It was so cool because after the first time, that was very neat. The second time, when you're sitting animal in one hand and you in the other, I'm like, I'm with the animal. It worked the first time.
Right.
Yeah. That was
So
really cool.
now, what did you see in the elephant?
Well, this was a very strange experience, and when I closed my eyes and I had the elephant, I started to see my third eye for some reason. And when you told me I mashed a little earlier, but when you told me to think of this hand and I put it together, that third eye went from being small to huge and very vivid. So I really felt that I integrated both of them together because it was massive and it felt great.
Do you know why that works so well so quickly? Because you've taken whatever they want, they're looking for what they want, and you dissociated them from all the issues. Now it's not about them or anything. Now they're looking at something out here that has what they're looking for. They're looking at what displays that. How do you know that? How is that thing breathing? How is it standing? What is it? And so now there's a model to follow. And so now you're dissociating from the problem and you've got benefits to model. And you have that animal for the rest of your life. From now on, anytime you want to tap into that quality, that attribute, all you have to do now is think of that animal. And you two have already done the mind meld together so that you can utilize the qualities that you borrowed. Make sense? How are we doing on time?
About 4 minutes.
About 4 minutes. So are there any questions? I don't think we'll have time for that other thing real quick, but if there aren't any questions.
No questions. Do the thing.
Gila?
I just have a quick comment. That was beautiful, Renee, by the way. I'm digging on that. But when you were just speaking right now, and you said you can always be that animal. Mine was a cougar, like a female cougar. And when you said it, it turned to a black panther. And I realized it could be any cat. Or whatever that whole genus needs to be.
All of you just proved the point that I don't really have to do anything. You will all do your own work in your own head, no matter what I say or do. I once had a client who came in asking for motivation to exercise. I could have easily said to that client, here's what you need to do. Every night before you go to bed, get your walking shoes or your running shoes, put them right by the bed, and every morning when you wake up, you can put your feet right into it and you'll be ready to exercise right away. Now that is one damn fine suggestion, isn't it? And if the client says, oh no, I've got a new baby and I can't do that, we've just lost rapport. So why am I going to give advice to my clients when they can get that for free from their mother? I didn't say it was great advice, I just said they can get it for free from their best friend. So I'm going to ask them and let them solve their own problems. That's how we empower our clients to take this into the real world and use it every day.